All right, plenty of other issues to get across tonight. A bit of a shake-up with my panel tonight. Joining me now, Executive Director of the Menzies Research Centre, Nick Cater, and Credlin regular, former MP for Boothby, Nicolle Flint. Both of you, Nicolle and Nick, welcome. I spoke about this at some length at the top of the show. This is this issue of the San Francisco Council recommending that black residents receive $5 billion each, US dollars, to make up for decades of harm. They've not necessarily had this harm. This is intergenerational harm. And then also these salary subsidies. Nick, given we follow most of the American trends, is this coming to a city near you?
Well, California's turned into a laboratory for bad woke ideas, hasn't it? And so many of them end up spreading. I think the ridiculousness of this one is in the quantum, $5 million, which I think even the wokest of Californians will recognise as a lot of money. But the principle here, Peter, and I think as you alluded to earlier in the show, is the principle that people should be compensated because of their race for past harm to people of that race is really entrenched, as I see it, in the arguments behind the voice, the treaty, truth, and so forth. I mean, where does this lead if not to that? And I just think this is the worst way for a society to settle its differences, by harbouring decades-old, generations-old grievances and trying to seek recompense for them. The way you move on as a society, is the way genuine reconciliation occurs, is through simple forgiveness.
Yeah, and look, you know, the African-American was brought there against their will, under duress, as slaves, Nicolle, but the similar circumstances of convicts here, brought against their will, often for very trivial crimes, under duress, in chains. If we started going down this path, I think you've probably got Irish heritage, as I do. We could go back decades and centuries and look for harm. This is not what compensation is supposed to be about.
That's right, Peter, and I understand the committee that made the recommendation that it should be $5 million per person just pulled the figure out of thin air. So who on earth is going to pay for this? It'll be taxpayers, and I don't think they'll be very impressed if it goes ahead. And also, will this actually address the problem that they're attempting to address, which is unemployment, health, educational outcomes for African Americans? Because I'm not convinced that it will. We've seen billions of dollars put towards remote Indigenous populations. And Peter, you've recently been in Alice Springs. You've seen it firsthand. That money has not helped.